Hello and welcome to LOK TALKS, and this is Dr. Lokesh Bhatia talking to you about a sequel of my previous video. What does character and confidence look like when actually lived, with Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura as the case study. We'll be talking to you about this particular source. As you all know, it's all there, and about his truthfulness, his integrity, his punctuality, his simplicity, his financial discipline, compassion, forgiveness, moral courage, and minimum personal needs. So the character and the confidence, when the philosophy becomes a lifestyle, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, a life that practiced what we preach. Hare Krishna. Namaskar to everybody. Welcome back to LOK TALKS. This is Dr. Lokesh Bhatia. In our last video, we discussed a very important subject: 20 qualities that build character and confidence, and that was based on Bhagavad Gita 13.8 to 12. So we discussed humility, simplicity, tolerance, self-control, detachment, sincerity, spiritual inquiry, and many other qualities which Sri Krishna describes as knowledge. But today I want to take the discussion one step further, because one question naturally arises: can somebody actually live like this? Are these qualities only beautiful philosophical ideas? Or can a person have a profession, a family, social responsibilities, administrative responsibilities, and still build an extraordinary spiritual character? The answer is yes. And one remarkable example is Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura. He has himself lived the life of what is discussed, and character is not what you say it is, how you live. Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura was not simply a philosopher sitting away from society. He carried serious responsibilities. Yet, when we study descriptions of his character, something extraordinary emerges. People remembered him not merely for what he taught, but for how he lived. And this is where our previous discussion on the character and confidence becomes very practical. Character is philosophy converted into behavior. You may know hundreds of verses, you may give wonderful lectures, but eventually character asks, how do you behave when money is involved? How do you behave when somebody insults you? How do you behave when nobody is watching you? Do you keep your words? Do you arrive on time? Can people trust you? That is character. So, first quality, truthfulness. Character begins with truthfulness. The biographical descriptions of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says that from his early life Until his last days, he remained a strong advocate of truth. He expected duty from others because he himself observed duty with extraordinary strictness. Think about this. Confidence does not ultimately come from speaking loudly. Confidence comes from there is less contradiction between what I believe and what I say and what I actually do. When these three becomes aligned, belief, speech and behavior, a person develops inner strength, and that is character based on confidence. My second point is integrity. Even when there is opportunity to compromise, Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura served in responsible government positions. During the execution of his public duties, he refused improper gifts. He was described as being above corruption. Why is this important? Because character is not tested when doing the right thing is easy. Character is tested when compromise is profitable. Suppose nobody will know. Suppose you can benefit. Suppose everybody around you is doing it, and still something inside says, no, this is not right. That is integrity. And every time you obey that inner moral standard, something develops inside you. Self-respect and genuine confidence grows from self-respect. Third quality I'll talk about, he was strict with principles but gentle with people. And this is one of my favorite aspects of Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's character. He was extremely strict regarding morality, but he was remarkably compassionate towards people. His biographical descriptions tells us that people approaching him found him charitable and welcoming. He befriended people irrespective of their social rank. Even people who became jealous of him or tried to obstruct his mission sometimes later realized their mistake and came to seek forgiveness. And he forgave them. Think about this combination. Strong principles, soft heart, and unfortunately sometimes we reverse it. We become soft towards our own principles and hard towards other people's mistakes. So spiritual character should produce exactly the opposite. Strict with myself, compassionate with others. The fourth point, he did not need to hurt people to prove his strength. The account of his life says that avoided unnecessarily speaking words that would hurt another person's feelings. But this did not mean weakness. When correction was genuinely necessary for someone's welfare, he could correct. And this is mature leadership. There is a difference between correction and humiliation. Correction says, I want you to improve. Humiliation says, I want you to know that I am superior. Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur's life teaches us you don't have to make another person small in order to become big. That is confidence. My fifth point in today's video is no grudges. Emotional strength. People opposed him. People became jealous. People obstructed his mission. Yet he did not build his identity around those injuries. When people genuinely returned, he could forgive them. And that is a tremendous form of emotional confidence. A weak mind repeatedly asks, how could he do this to me? A spiritually strong mind asks, what is the right thing for me to do now? Forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean approving someone's behavior. It means refusing to allow another person's behavior to permanently control your consciousness. So my sixth point in today's video is punctuality. A spiritual quality we often underestimate. There is a fascinating practical observation that Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura had. He was known for being punctual and true to his word. Now, you may ask, what does punctuality have to do with spirituality? Everything. If I promise someone, if I will come at 5 p.m. and casually arrive at 5:45, I have taken 45 minutes from another person's life. So punctuality communicates your time matters to me. Keeping one's word communicates you can trust me. And trust is one of the greatest form of social capital a person can possess. So, the seventh point is the financial character. Another beautiful, practical detail I would like to talk about is Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur's avoided unnecessary debt and was prompt in making payments. And this is spirituality becoming economics. Spiritual life does not only ask, how nicely do I worship? It also asks, do I pay what I owe? Do I fulfill commitments? Am I financially responsible? Because character cannot be restricted to the temple. Character must enter our office, our home, our bank account, our relationships, and our promises. My eighth point is simple living but not small living. The description of his life says that he kept his personal needs to a bare minimum and lived very simply. Notice carefully, minimum personal needs did not mean minimum contribution. This is perhaps one of the greatest lessons from his lifestyle, and his formula seems almost opposite to the modern consumer culture. Reduce consumption, increase contribution. Modern culture often teaches earn more, consume more, desire more, work more and worry more. The spiritual intelligence asks, how much do I actually need? Because every unnecessary desire creates another demand on our time, money, attention, and consciousness. Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura simplified the consumer and expanded the contributor. Then how was such a lifestyle developed? That's a $1,000,000 question. And this is the central question. Did Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura simply wake up one morning with extraordinary character? No. The character develops through repeated choices. We can understand the process like this. Value leads to choice, choice leads to habit, and habit leads to character, and character leads to confidence. So, first, I accept a value. For example, I should speak the truth. Then the life gives me a choice. Truth or convenience. If I repeatedly choose truth, truthfulness becomes a habit. Repeated habits become character. And when I know that my character will support me even in difficult circumstances, I developed confidence. Therefore, confidence should not merely be manufactured through positive thinking. Build character and confidence increasingly becomes its consequence. But there is one more level to it.